What's up, my loves? Welcome back to another video. It's your girl Candace, and today, you guys, we're going to be talking about why successful women keep their money moves private. I know you guys enjoyed the other video where I talked about why successful women keep their goals private. So not just successful women, okay? Secure women, everyday woman, a woman that knows her worth, a woman that knows what she wants, has potential, ambitious, just, all around woman, okay? So yeah, you guys, so this is part 2 to the Moving in Silence successful women. So first, let me just say this though. Have you ever been around a woman who seems like she just moves so quiet, but she seems wealthy? She seems financially stable. She seems like, she's in her bag. She seems like she's just that girl. A vibe gives it, but she doesn't flaunt it loudly. She doesn't tell it loudly. She just kind of move with grace. Have you ever been around a woman like that? Or either you want to be that woman. What successful women has realized is that when they move in silence, it protects their finances. It protects a lot of things. You don't owe anyone an explanation when it comes to your finances. And I'm talking about, you don't have to tell anyone what you're making, how much you're making. You don't have to tell anybody what you're saving and why are you saving it. Tell anybody what you're investing in or what you're trying to build behind the scenes with your money. You don't owe anyone that explanation. And when you're silent, that doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. So if people think that you're not doing anything just because you're moving in silence when it comes to your finances, you're not loud with it, or you're not doing, they think that you may not have money, they think that you're broke, let them think that, okay? That is the best way, because while they're out chasing popularity contests, trying to be loud and prove to everybody that they have money, that creates anxiety, and that creates a feeling of always having to prove and show to somebody else what they have instead of for themselves. And sometimes we do want to show people or prove to people that, we made it or we're doing good for ourselves. And sometimes that's okay, right? But it's a way that you do those things. But one thing I've realized is that most successful people, once they establish that success or finance, as far as success and finances, is that a lot of them are very, very quiet. You don't really see them flaunt a lot as far as social media, anything like that. They just kind of move gracefully. A lot of people who have money don't dress in the nicest clothes. They don't drive the nicest cars. I feel like when you have real successful money, your mindset changes. It changes to want to grow. How can I flip this? How can I make this more? How can I retire early? How can I build something that leaves a legacy behind? All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into the first point when it comes to moving in silence when it comes to your finances. Silence protects your focus. Okay, so say for instance, if you're saving for something or you're investing in something or you have a goal that you're trying to reach financially, budgeting or whatever it is, when you start telling people, you get those outside opinions, right? You know the goal, you know what you want to do, you have the potential, you have the drive, you have it all. But once you tell somebody on the outside, of course, you bring in those unwanted opinions where they're going to start asking you, well, do you think that's a good idea? Or, hey, I tried to invest in that once before, it didn't work out for me. So a lot of people bring in their failures and project them back onto you just because it didn't work out for them. And not just because it didn't work out for them, they also don't want it to work out for you. So a lot of times when you tell people your next moves and the things that you're doing financially, a lot of people prey on your downfall, hoping and praying that that investment that you wanted to invest in doesn't work out for you because they don't know how, or it didn't work out for them, or they just don't have the funds to do it like you have it right now. So keep it to yourself when it comes to your big goals, your investing, your money moves. Keep those things to yourself because people will talk you out of everything. Not only that, you'll realize too, some people start poor mouthing to you. I can't afford it. I got, it's just all this complaining. You just start realizing like, dang, now I've been talking to you this long. You have not yet to complain like you have complained since I told you 2 weeks ago or a week ago, the last time I talked to you, that I am investing or I'm saving my money to do something. Now all of a sudden you got all this life trauma going on. So that's another thing. When you tell people, everybody, their world coming to an end and they want you to save it, okay? And then sometimes you'll even ask them, well, do you need anything? What you need me to do? They can't even tell you just because they're doing fine the same way they've been doing, getting by, but they want more of yours. Or sometimes they don't even know what they want. They just want to take from you to make sure you don't get to where you're trying to go. So they're going to take your money and do what they want to do with it even though they have been surviving on their own the whole time, but they just don't want you to get anywhere. And that's just what it is. And also it creates hesitation and doubt. So sometimes, like, you know, like we say, people tell us what we should do, what we shouldn't do when it comes to our finances. And you start hesitating and time just start ticking on by. Things are happening. Monkey wrenches getting thrown in your plans. Now you're self-doubting, well, what can I do with this money? You're overthinking everything. So then the money just sits there. Or either you start blowing the money because you feel like, oh, that plan that I thought about, that's just pointless. Let me just use this money for something else. And you use the money for something else, it just really goes down the drain. Like it was just a waste of time. Or you could have put that money into a high yield like savings account. But instead, you took it and you blowed it because somebody else gave you these doubts in your mind. So that brings me into number 2. Everyone does not want to see you win financially. Like I mentioned before, people will start poor mouthing to you when they know that you're trying to save, when they know that you're trying to do something. And let me just say, envy shows up when it comes to money, honey. Y'all already know, family members, friends, when you start making money or you start saving money or you start having something for yourself, it creates a lot of envy towards a lot of people. Sometimes you want everybody to go with you. Sometimes you want to support everyone. Sometimes you want to give to people. But when you give to people, they just take, and they don't do anything with it. And then as soon as you start elevating, you start moving forward and moving on, because it's like, okay, I've given, I've done for you, I've done this and done that, but you're taking it and you're just blowing it, and you're not fixing the problem by just blowing the money that I give you. Instead of investing and try to build on it, they're just blowing it. And then they get mad when you pull the plug. That's just, sometimes you just got to pull the plug. Successful women does not sit and keep feeding something that doesn't need to be fed. And sometimes we get caught up into that life. We feel like we people please all the time. We want people to like us. We want people to support us and this and that, till it will drain us dry. Instead of doing that, that is why a lot of successful women move silently. If you see it or you assume that this person has money or you don't, then yes. Also, another thing is that people will start comparing themselves instead of celebrating. Also, financial growth, it triggers insecurity. So a lot of times when you're growing or you have financial abundance, a lot of people that's around you may feel insecure about themselves. They start second guessing the route that they're going. They start second guessing themselves, start second guessing everything about themselves, okay? And it builds that insecurity. And of course, when you have insecurity, it builds a lot of envy towards that person. So if you're feeling insecure around a person, that's gonna trigger a lot of different things. So a lot of women know that certain people cannot know the level of financial abundance that they have just because they know it can trigger insecurities from certain people. So you also, when you're around certain people, you know who and what you can tell your business to. And even the ones that you feel like in the moment that you can trust, also you shouldn't tell them either. Because yeah, you feel like you may can trust them, but people pop up with surprises all the time when you tell them your success or what you have going on, and it backfires. Because a lot of people are not rooting for you. This is a tough one. A lot of people only like you when you feel relatable. So just say, for instance, if, you know, financially, you just been getting by, you've been doing what you have to do, you and other people that you've been hanging around, all y'all kind of like on the same level in a way. All y'all working a certain type of job that makes kind of similar income, right? Even if somebody that you met as a child, their family always been financially secure, well off financially, right? So if you've already been friends with that person, it's kind of like, okay, you expect that, right? You're already friends with them. You already know that they have money. You already know how it is. But like if you're in a group where all you guys are at the same level, right? And one person start increasing their income, doing things and having more and saving and investing and just doing all the things. When they start doing those things, people will start looking at you different, right? They'll start feeling like you're no longer relatable because you're buying these nice cars, you're buying this nice home, you're investing in all this stuff, you have all this income coming in. Even though that person may be looking out for their friends, a lot of people stop looking at that. They don't even want that support anymore. They just start feeling like it brings in that insecurity. It start making them feel like, what are they doing? Like they start second guessing and doubting themselves. And at that point, you're no longer relatable to them. They start feeling the way about you, and they don't know why they have those feelings. They probably don't want to have those feelings, but they end up having those feelings. And now the conversations are different. The vibe is different. You're no longer relatable. So when people keep their money moves private from certain women, certain people, sometimes it helps keep things smooth. Is it right all the time? No, it's not right all the time. So when you keep it low key, sometimes it just brings that peace, right? So when I say money moves stay private, honey, those money moves stay private. Because a lot of women, they know how to move in silence when it comes financially. They know how to save for rainy days, and they know how to have it, y'all. So that brings me to number 3 is quiet moves attract less sabotage, less jealousy, less spiritual and emotional interference, less pressure to perform publicly. As we know, a lot of people show the extravagant cars, the homes, and all those things, right? Let's just say life happens, right? Because life will happen sometimes. And it strips all those things away. That pressure that you once had to perform publicly of what you have may no longer be there, right? So just because you have it, it's okay to fund it, but it's okay to be a little bit more smart about it. Because if you've already been out there performing publicly your new home, your cars, and all the things, and you're constantly showing off the money that you make and what you're doing, then you're going to have that pressure later on to show up. And when life happens, when those things sometimes can get stripped from you because it's not fully solid, what successful women know is that before they announce or before they show off anything, they want to make sure what they have going on is solid. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into number 4. Money grows best without pressure. So no need to prove anything to anyone. No timeline expectations, no performance anxiety, no rushing decisions. Because why would you rush decisions when it comes to your money? When you rush decisions when it comes to your money because you're trying to prove to other people or the pressure around you, you make bad financial decisions. And we all probably know this at this point. When we rush into something just because somebody told us it was a good money move to make, doesn't always mean that it's going to be a good money move to make. Sometimes you have to sit on it and you have to pray about it and you have to just kind of run it over and scan it through in your mind, not just because somebody else is telling you. So don't rush your decisions to feel like just because you saw something online, they tell you to invest in something, so you just take off and invest all your money into it just because the person online told you to. Successful and secure do their research. They don't believe everything that pops up online just because a person seems successful or looks successful. They research into it and they understand, okay, if I'm going to take my money, I'm going to invest it in something. I want to make sure, because, and to be honest, when you're investing, it's gambling. Not gambling, but gambling, okay? It's not necessarily going to always get you the best investment in return, but be smart about it. Do your research on it, and just don't go off of what somebody else done. One person may have hit it big, and you feel like, oh, I can do it too, but they might have just had that luck in that moment because they really can't tell you how they done it. It just happened for them. So be smart about your decisions when it comes to your finances. And another thing with quiet women, they allow their money to grow organically. They don't invest just to impress anyone. They don't flex income that isn't consistent, okay, like I kind of mentioned before. They don't speak on plans that's still in development. They let money mature in peace. So if you are working on a project right now that is big, right, or just something that's big to you, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself until you know it's consistent, until you know it's solid. All right, so number 5 is privacy builds power, not weakness. Now, there's a difference between being secret and being private. Okay, so what I mean is private women still share wisdom, but they just don't overshare specifics. So like for instance, they'll teach you lessons, mistakes made, mindset shifts, things like that, but they won't give you exact numbers, okay, exact strategies, and exact timing. Now, I know for someone who would want to learn and want to know, so if you're going to give me wisdom, why not give me the exact numbers? Why not give me the exact timing? Why not give me the exact strategy? Because look, if we're trying to learn from someone who's successful, we would want that, right? So that lets you know that people that's on the internet, a lot of them, not all of them, are not giving you the exact strategy. They're pretty much reeling you in to give you the basics of it. But to be honest, once they give you the basics of it, it's up to you to take those basics and increase and learn a little bit more to get to the next level, because that's what they probably was given, the basics, and go straight in. And speaking of the basics, like just say for instance, a lot of times when you start a new job or anything like that, you're being taught the basics of the actual job. But sometimes you may execute that job better than the last person who trained you, right? So it's kind of giving you the basics to learn, and then you kind of get wise enough to build on your own and make it into something a little bit bigger than the person who taught you. So I guess it's not too bad, but that is what successful, quiet women do. They focus on keeping things private because they're still in their building phase. A lot of the times, people are not going to give you everything. They're not going to give you the whole entire sauce because they're still learning themselves. They may seem successful, they may seem like they have it going on, but each and every day they're still learning. So if I'm still learning how to build and how to be more and more and more successful, how can I give you everything and I'm still learning? You know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes they can give you wisdom on the things that they have learned as they're still building, but they may not give you exact numbers because, you know, people get crazy. Okay, people will be like, oh my God, this person is making this amount of money. And like I mentioned before, they're scared of people poor mouth, and they're scared of people because people like to file lawsuits. People like to destroy everything, right? A person can come to you genuinely and say, hey, can you give me some advice? I'm trying to start a business, or give me some advice on how to invest. Give me some advice on da 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 da, right? And the person that you're asking that has, you know, experience in investing or experience in whatever it is that you're trying to build, but you don't know exactly how much they make or what they make. And a person give you the exact number, right? You might be a good-hearted person, humble person, or just, you know, in your right mind. Some people are not. They'll take that number and they just get crazy, right? And just do whatever. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. They do all types of things when it comes to money, okay? So a lot of times, the exact number of what you make, it's nobody's business, honey. It's nobody's business. And that goes for if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're making based on income, it's still nobody's business. And why I say this, because information is leverage. And powerful women, they don't give leverage away freely. All right, you guys, so number 6 is results speak louder than announcements. What successful women know is that there's no need to explain, no need to convince anyone, no need to prove anything. Success introduces itself. So like I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure you guys have met someone that moves or seems or have that aura of financially well off, right? And that is kind of what I'm saying. Number 7 is also quiet women control the narrative. When people know too much, they feel entitled to opinions. They feel entitled to access to you. Quiet women control what people know. They move on their own timeline. They answer to themselves. They don't negotiate their worth publicly. And that's just the bottom line. So if you're that woman that's looking to be that quiet, successful woman, then just remember that move in silence. Keep your finances to yourself. Once you start building and once you start getting those big deposits, you don't have to announce it to everybody. You just announce and celebrate it with yourself. Everything does not deserve an audience. Access to you when you are growing and you are growing financially is limited. So it doesn't mean that you're being private. It doesn't mean that you're being rude or mean to people. When you become secure within who you are and you become a successful woman, some of these things are what's going to happen. Whether you want it to happen or not, it's just going to happen. So you don't have to explain to people how you got what you got. If you do, it is okay. But you don't have to explain exact numbers, exact everything. And I know that seems like crab in a bucket mentality. That seems like, you know, you're holding back, you're gatekeeping. A lot of these people that tell you they're not gatekeeping are gatekeeping from you. They're just trying to get your money, okay? But I'm telling you, it's not about gatekeeping, okay? It's not about being crabs in a bucket, because a successful woman can give you the entire recipe. But that doesn't mean that it's going to come out the same. You can follow the right track, the right path, everything that person went through. You may still get a different result at the end. So learn all you can. Focus and lock in on yourself, and you'll be able to get there. Because everybody has access to the same thing. We all have the online now. Everything is online. And if you want to, you can get yourself in the right rooms whether you want to or not. Just because you feel like it's so far away and you feel like you can't, if you want to get in those rooms with those successful women, you're able to. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys on the next one. And don't forget to keep your finances to yourself and move in silence, honey, because you don't owe anyone anything. We all are out here trying to get it, okay? And keep building what you're building, and eventually they'll see. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one.